Welcome back, Generals, to another Let's Fix Generals 0 Hour to make the best game ever. Okay, I think we need to merge some changes. It's another revision. Satellite video. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, then let's rebase and merge this. Okay. Okay, then next, let's take a look at this one again. Yeah. Operator plus plus. Is it possible as these function definitions. Have inline keywords can be removed. you can keep it, I guess. It's probably EA. Did EA put it there? I don't know. Move to next allocator with raw blocks. Move to next single block. Skip over DMAs that have no raw blocks. Move to next single block. This is fine, but I was wondering maybe the DMA can have an iterator, just like you added for the memory pool factory. Basically, you have a memory pool iterator and dynamic memory iterator. Then use them the same way. Or is there a specific reason why memory pool needed the iterator while dynamic memory did not? Date range. It's slow. Perhaps also put memory pool into its name. Alternatively, class a member of memory pool and then simply name it iterator. It then would become memory pool iterator. Or memory pool factory. Why does it have so many constructors? So where is this guy created? This? this constructor is redundant and unused. Can remove. What about this guy here? This member, why is this needed? Factory. Yeah, sun use. This means M range is still uninitialized because move to next blob. Advance to the next blob. Advances to the next blob. Current blob and poor. have the impression that this function can probably be simplified. It looks over-engineered, but maybe I'm mistaken. It just looks so complicated, which indicates to me that it's could be more efficient. Maybe let's ask ChatGPT. Is the logic flow optimal, or can it be simplified? Here's a cleaner, equivalent version of your logic. Simplified version. If not, current blob and pool return. Try next blob in the current pool. Current blob and pool. No more blobs in the current pool. Advance to next pool with blobs. Remove the final if-else block assigned current blob and pool using a ternary operator. Well, this doesn't look the same, because here, if this guy was null, or if this was null, then it would enter here. But then this should be null as well. If you're comfortable with a single exit point and fewer early returns. This function looks over-engineered. Looks over-engineered to the eye. Maybe. I asked Chat to simplify it, and it claims that the following is technically, logically identical. So if current blob and pool while not current pool. Yeah, to me this looks good, but maybe I'm missing something here. But basically, if we have already a pointer here, then it checks if we can get a next one. If it happens to be null, then it reaches here and then checks if we have a current pool. Then we will advance to the next pool. If we have a next pool, then we also get the first blob. Otherwise, we would advance, go back to the slope. This one would be false now. This one would be false. So this would enter, leave the loop, and nothing happens. So to me, it looks like this works. So. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This is missing call to update range down here. Looks like the very first iteration use else. Good. Yeah, I'm surprised that the more we look, the more we find here. Right. Yeah. It never ends. This review is intense. Yeah. Can likely be one function, like how you did it in the memory pool iterator. Okay. How about we look into these two here, since I've been standing here waiting for review for a long time. This change prevents repairing Chinooks and helixes from taking off after evacuating all passengers. Repairing Chinooks and helixes. Okay. Chinook stays landed when evacuating individual passengers, but takes off when evacuating all passengers. Okay. Okay. The Chinook stays landed when evacuating individual or all passengers. Okay. That makes sense. Typically, it is by inverting the local flag when viable to avoid longer recompilation and the risk of other changes. Perform several tests. What was the question? Okay. Last month already. Okay. Let's see. This gets reset every time a command is issued. Don't leave healing state for evacuation commands. Okay, that's simple enough. What about this one here? This change prevents repairing Chinooks and helixes from taking off after repairing completes when there are passengers waiting to board or exit before. Oh, that's a classic bug. Classic bug, yeah. Absolute classic. The good old helicopter lifting off when the passengers are moving towards, right? Classic. 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 Await passengers. Ignore passengers. Boah, so rude. Ignoring those damn passengers. Oh boy. maintain module interface. Yeah. Waiting to enter or exit. Contain. Yeah. Has objects wanting to enter or exit. Okay. Give me const. Can be moved. One scope below. Waiting to enter or exit. Waiting to enter or exit. Not waiting. It's just a comment above this function explaining the fix. Okay, I think, yeah, I mean, logically it looks all good. Yeah, it makes sense. It seems to work, so that's good. Take off again. Yeah, change makes sense. Set airfield for healing. Exit evacuate. Idle busy. Don't need or want to take off for these, just pass it through. I wonder if this should be written if this should be is allowed to respond to AI commands. Allowed to respond. What is this? that don't listen very well. Be combined with the switch case down below instead. To only call this function maybe better to combine this call with the switch case down below instead. Only call where necessary. I have to wait for takeoff or landing. Taking off, landing. Set airfield for healing. Good. The Stubiax had another change here where I had a comment. Here, this one. So basically there's a super complex condition here regarding fire weapon effects. And the question is, why does it have to be so complicated? What is the function? Tools. Mm-hmm. Okay. So this was written by a zombie. Need brains. Good. So So this function here, oh boy. So there is a there's a function in the drawable which checks if it's visible, which apparently does not always return true when it is visible. The question is why? How about we take a look? Okay. Oh boy, we are back to Slowlands. 2,560 lines. Oof. Oof. So I guess this is mostly AI generated code, yeah. Oh boy, it uses memcopy. Oof. 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 I don't know. I mean, AI generated code, it will be such a pain in the long term. Problem is you make a change to SCB format or something, and then this thing breaks. Then you need to figure out why. Ugh. The thing is, reviewing this means we commit to whatever this AI has generated, right? Because if you now review this and then at the end of the review you say, oof, that's stupid, well, then you spend all this time reviewing 2,500 of AI generated lines of codes for nothing, right? And with AI, you can generate millions of lines of code in no time. It doesn't mean that these lines are any good. It just means you have a huge amount of new codes, which means new technical debt that you then need to maintain and understand. I believe the way these things should work is that in engine, there will be a class that reads the format, right? That reads the SCB format because it's needed to read it into engine, right? And you use the very same code to read it here in the tool. And then side by side to where it's being read, you also add all the logic for write. Side by side, so that you have the pairing of reading and writing, right? And so if you make some edits to the formats in terms of reading, then at the same time, it's easy to just do the same for writing, right? Just in lockstep, you edit these things. Whereas if you have two different systems where one is reading the file and this class here, this tool here is reading and writing, but with completely different code, you now need to edit 3 places with 2 different concepts. And so it's easier to make mistakes, to get them out of sync, and yeah, it's not well integrated, right? So this is point number 1 why I'm not a fan of the standalone tool thingy. And I don't really care for Linux or Mac OS compatibility when we don't even support the game to be that way at this point. So why would we need the tool to be working on Mac or Linux when we don't even have the game and all the other tools run on Mac and Linux? It's a non-argument, right? So I'm not buying this one. Yeah, so I'm highly skeptical of this change here. I mean, yeah, we can throw at AI, generate me all this new stuff. It's free, but is it good? I don't know. I don't know. It's a good starting point for some ideas. Yeah. How does the original SCB look? Script engine. Let me see. Oh, here we have data chunk here. Oh shit. Here, pass group data chunk, write group data chunk. Look at that, there even is a writer. All right. Okay, so it can already read and write scripts, which makes sense. Yeah, it needs to be able to generate it from World Builder. Okay, so it can already it can already read and write the binary format. So what we need to do is just implement a text version of this format. So what is the in runtime representation of this stuff? Script group. It's probably this then, right? Script group. Yeah, so this is the in-memory representation of this. Yeah, and then basically you just so you have write group data chunk and pass, and then you add here two new functions, write group data chunk, and then a different output, different chunk writer. And so instead of this writer, you use a JSON or whatever other format, right? There. Yeah. Okay, anyway, I don't care for this right now. I don't see this here being viable. I think it needs to be closely coupled with the existing code and simply put a new format here. Yeah. Yeah. How many functions are there? Let's see. So this is for the map file, I think. So the map file, the map and the script, they both use a data chunk input. So let me see who's reading this. Data chunk input. I'm trying to find the top place where it starts, where we start a read of writes. Can we find this, or I can maybe put a breakpoint. Let me see. Let's search for SCB. Here, cached file input stream. Path. Input, there we go. Register parser, there we go. Pass scripts, data chunk, players, data chunk, teams, data chunk. Pass. If not pass, error. So you can, that's interesting. So they already have quite some logic in there. So you have this data chunk input. You register the parsers, interesting, which is just a function. Register parser. Parse size data chunk. Oof. Okay, that's quite a lot. Okay, but basically it looks like that we need to replicate these things here with a new format, and then one-to-one the same kind of things for the same things here. Which there seems to be quite a bit of things. Yeah. I think first step would be to clean up the existing logic a bit. Like, I don't know, fix the formatting a bit and clean up some junk out of it if necessary, and then then you need to replicate these things. Why is it hanging? What is this? Load map. Yeah, so I see like roughly how this works, a high level. Basically, I think we need new functions here, these guys. And then a new a new class of this kind here that works with a text file format. Yeah. And then that should work. Yeah. Which is probably easier said than done. So it looks like this one did a copy of this data chunks. Where are the headers? Data chunk here. So it created a copy of these guys. Yeah. So that's a copy. So this was for the binary data, and then where's the other one? This here. Read byte, pass script chunk. Pushback easy. Yeah, I think this is the approach is bogus. I don't like it because it's detached from engine. Like it should be right here where the original data format is, so that when you make a tweak in here, yeah, you change something in here, that you can at the same time touch the other one, and you can see, aha, side by side, they look the same. Boom, done. It needs to be simple. It needs to be maintainable, close together, and I would say that but basically what we need here is like so this says data chunk input, and we could have like a text chunk input or something like that, right? Text or JSON chunk input, right? That would be the file. Then data chunk info, I don't know what that is. And yeah, and that's it. Yeah. And then you need those functions that actually read from the JSON, like this one here, right? So that this will create the script list and so on, and it will read from this thing, will read the text data. Yeah. So it should be one-to-one the same. It's the same principle, just a different data format here. So you have a JSON chunk input, JSON chunk info, and then you have these functions here that do the very same thing, just with a different text format. And this is how you replicate the whole the whole shebang with a new format. And then you can have X amount of formats, right? You can have JSON, you can have, I don't know, XML, other kinds, but I think one is good enough for us. And then, yeah, and then you need a separate tool which then invokes this, right? Gives you an input file, output file, and then it would detect what from file to file, and then it would, yeah, set up here the parsers and do the things, and then you're good to go. The good thing is, it looks like that map and SCB, they use the same format. So I think that's cool. So you can actually also you can build one tool that can deal with maps and with SCB. That's cool. That is really cool. So we can have plain text maps as well. Yeah. Now, obviously, that's double the work because there's a lot of stuff here as well. But yeah, I think that's how it should be done there. Anyway, it's not a task for now. I think before we do this, we should have the game text compiler first, port it from time to this one. But yeah, it's nothing we do right now. So I'm not fond of this one here. I don't think this has a future. Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, someone can use it for local use, but like, it doesn't have a future, a maintainable future. Maybe it has an AI future where we say, hey, AI, please update this, right? But I'm not a fan of this AI prompting. It just, the problem with building code base with AI, the way I see it, is it just means you need to be really good at prompting and then hope that the AI builds everything properly out of the prompt. So it directly correlates with the quality of your prompts, and your prompts can only be so detailed. You cannot make a prompt that is so good that it describes your entire intent accurately and properly. That's what you have the source code for. With the source code, you exactly say what I want, right? Like each branch, each condition, everything tells exactly how the program should function. The AI will happily generate you some codes that will satisfy your prompt, but it may not be exactly what you need. So you still need to go fine tune or correct the AI, or or ask the AI to keep fine tuning, and you become a prompt engineer. So it's basically a different interface to programming, and it seems like it saves you time, but maybe only in the short term. Like, how much does it save in the long term? Like the larger your code base gets, like with AI, you can generate millions lines of code, but then how do you maintain these million lines of code if you rely on AI to keep it all maintained? The AI can just mutate the code in any way it likes when you make a new prompt. So I think this needs to be properly thought through here. First, I mean, even if you make a prompt with AI to build this, I think it's good to first think about how should it be designed. And I like that EA already has like a good parser in place. Like, it already has a good abstraction here, and it looks like you can fit in a new one, so that's good. But yeah, building it totally separate is just asking for trouble. Yeah, asking for trouble. Anyway, so I wanted to look at this thing here, this condition. This one. Yeah. So so let's get a test map. Let's get a GLA. Bomb truck place. Oh, it's very expensive. 1,200 for the bomb truck. I think the more often I say B truck in this video, the riskier it gets here on YouTube, I would assume. So maybe we shouldn't say B and truck all the time. Good. So this truck, if we detonate it, it does show an effect. Okay, and so, so it is visible. So in what case, let's open a second game instance. I think we need to disable this. Let's restart this. Let's change the resolution. Okay, then we go to our network. Join in there. And then we have a delay here and another one. Accept, play. Maybe I should have put them next to each other. No, of course they will be across the map. get the radar van. Okay, I think we need a faster network match. I could enable the instant build sheet. Oh, well, no, it's too late. Good, so we build a war factory right in front of his house. Yeah. Maybe we move the radar van away. Yeah. Good. So, bomb truck. Good. So I think that's good enough for a meet and greet here. Yeah. Maybe we send the truck here. Truck is very expensive. Good. So we put them here and we explode. And we see the effect on both sides. We need to disguise them, don't we? Okay, let's get an enemy technical here. Okay, so we have this one down here. Unit under attack. Uh-oh. Stop. See, the bomb trucks are much more peaceful. They don't harass. Good, so this is now stealth, yeah? And now we explode it. And we do see particle effects on both sides. What is the condition for this problem? I don't understand. Does not play often for opponents, allies, observers. Inconsistency increases because a bomb truck loses its status disguise status as soon as it begins revealing itself. When it approaches a target. Okay. Then how about we take this? Yeah. And then so we take this guy there. And we take this guy and then we attack the command center. But we did see the effect there. That was fine. Okay, Okay, so the question is, how do we reproduce this problem? We need the instant build sheet, I think. Do I remember what it was? Alt F, I think. Yeah. I think there was also a cheat for cache. I don't remember what the cache thing was. Doesn't matter. We have enough cache on the bank right now. Good. So here's a bomb truck. Okay, what the effect was properly shown. So video. That looks fine. Okay, we can't reproduce it here. That's unfortunate. We would first need to figure out how to reproduce it. Maybe we need to be closer and then attack. Well, that worked. Ah, there's a radar van. Maybe that's interfering. Let's take this away. Well, it still works. Aha. There we go. Okay, but it was also for the local player. So it's not just for the enemy, it's also for the local. Let's do that again. This one didn't have effect either. Okay, so it doesn't matter. We can also reproduce it on our in the local view, which makes sense. Okay, so then let's put a breakpoint here. So we have a breakpoint here. And it claims it is visible. Okay, so we have an effect now, yeah? No? Now it's false, Okay, so there's two effects. Yeah. Okay, why is it false then? we have a draw module is visible. Render objects is really visible. Bits. It's really visible. So this render object, what is it? It is a bomb truck D. Bomb truck D. Why is bomb truck D not visible? To me, it looks like there's some issue that maybe we spawned this damaged model of the bomb truck, right? So it is destroyed, and the bomb truck is destroyed, and so it changes its model, and then it initializes as not being visible. That's a suspicion I have here. That on the first frame, it's not known to be visible. Because maybe there's some update missing. Right? Model draw. So DM where's this draw module from? DM get module list modules. Yeah, okay. So let me put here. Let me clean up here a little bit. So let's put DM, comma 2. Yeah, so there's one model in here. Yeah, this one is invalid. Okay, so there's one guy in here, which is a truck draw. It has a drawable module. It has a drawable, and this drawable is the truck. And it has this module, and that module is truck draw, model draw. Here's the model draw. Yeah. Rubber. Draw module. Module. Yeah. Render object. There's the render object. Bits 411141. Okay. Here we have some bits. But here we don't. Well, it's just showing us bogus. Model draw. Render objects. Watch this. So this render object has a, here's a render object, bits. Here the bits are 411141. Is that a valid? Maybe the debugger is just tricking us. 411141. Oh, that's quite a bit here. Why is it so small? Now it's bigger. So is visible, it's not hidden. Let's see. Oof. Oof. So is visible. Let's change to hex. Oh, that doesn't help. Ugh. Two 256. 256 is this one here? Or is it not? I think it's this one, 256. 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. So it's this one. Yeah, right, that makes sense. All of these together are 255. Yeah, so this is 256, yeah. So it's not visible. But it is not hidden. It's not hidden, and animation is also not hidden. So these two here, these two are true. But this one is false. Huh. Okay, to me this looks like a bug. That this one is not considered visible right now. Yeah. Reveal distance from target. Okay, how about we take a break here, and next session we investigate this further. But to me it looks like the issue is that this one is not set, but it clearly, we can't see it. We can't see it. It's visible here, right? It is visible. But for some reason it's not set, this flag. Yeah. So we need to investigate why. Yeah, good. I think I will take a break here. What this is here. Good. I'll take a break here. I wish you a great day or night. Until next time. Goodbye.